Rangers are headed back to Madison Square Garden for Game 7. Games 5 and Game 6 were very similar, where the Rangers found themselves down 2-0, but were able to fight back. And the resilience that this team has shown all season has been remarkable. This was not pretty whatsoever. But sometimes, to win in the playoffs, it's not going to be perfect, but you have to find a way, and the Rangers did. And look, were there some advantageous situations for the Rangers? Absolutely. I mean, Sidney Crosby not playing, obviously, is a factor. Louis Domingue, being in goal for the Penguins as well. But you play, who's on your schedule, and you can't feel bad about it. And the Rangers are now in a situation where they can use that home ice advantage to their advantage in having finished ahead of the Penguins. That was, something that they had worked towards, and we'll see now. Look, it's no guarantee that they win Game 7. It's not going to be easy. I have a feeling that's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be some sort of runaway. But if you're a Ranger fan, you have to feel really good. Mika, Zibanejad, and Kreider are really the stories of this game. And they were players that were deservedly ridiculed by fans and by the media. They would even admit, I'm sure, that they were not playing up to snuff, nowhere close. And last game, the kid line had to be the ones to do it. Well, now it was Zibanejad and Kreider in particular. Also, Adam Fox with 4 assists cannot be left out of the conversation. But those two really were instrumental in picking up this victory. They really turned it on pretty much from the second period on, where Rangers had 2-0 going into the second. It's all right, at some point, Mika and Kreider have to do something. Otherwise, the season's going to end. Sure enough, they step up and come through. To that point, I think next, Artemi Panarin, someone who's been kind of quiet lately. He's someone who I look to in Game 7. He needs to now step up his game. It's almost his turn, and he had his series has been okay. I think to Game 2, obviously Game 2, he was very good for the most part. And so now, we'll see what he does. But as far as Game 6 goes, this was up and down. A couple of key moments. The special teams to the Rangers, which was mainly a strength all season long, was really good tonight. The power play comes with 2 goals, and the penalty kill was great. They killed off a 5-on-3. There was a 5-on-3 for about 1 minute and 10 seconds in the second period, and I believe it was tied at 2 at that point. And the Rangers were able to hold on. Also, Tyler Mott coming back in, I thought was very underrated, and I think made a difference. And in fact, he was on with Zibanejad and Kreider for that final goal. I'm not sure. It must have been somewhat intentional, where Mott switched with Vetrano in that moment. And Mott looks, he's always had the speed, but he looked especially noticeable. And I think that's a key guy to come back. Ryan Lindgren, another guy that I need to mention, clearly he's hurt, and he's doing everything he can, and he looks good. This is a key guy to have. If Ryan Lindgren never came back, I don't think the Rangers would still be playing. The Rangers really leaned on Lindgren, Fox, and Miller Trouba. I thought Lindgren Fox was pretty excellent. Miller Trouba had some issues. Trouba in particular, this was a rough night for Trouba. They're lucky that they came away with the win. Didn't love his game. And, the third pair did not play that much. Braden Schneider played less than 10. Braden Schneider and Justin Braun both played about 10 minutes each. And even then it felt like it was too much. Gallant really sheltered them, and you got to lean on the top 4. It's unfortunate the Rangers don't have a third pair you can trust, but it's tough in the NHL to find a good third pair of defensemen. So, and then as far as Igor goes, I think Igor kind of he made some key saves when he had to. Was it his strongest game? No. I still have my concerns with Igor. I do, but look. Faced 34 shots, made 31 saves, a pretty solid game from Shesterkin in what was a very tough environment. Now he doesn't have to be from the Pittsburgh fans from here on out, so that's a good thing, and he'll have the crowd behind him in Game 7. So let's get into the game. Kevin Rooney takes so early on, some chances back and forth, not a whole lot to say, and then Kevin Rooney takes the first of 2 penalties for Rooney. So at 8:33, he interferes with Brock McGinn. And with Rooney, you can't be taking penalties. For someone like that, you got to stay out of the penalty box. You can tell the Rangers coaches, they trust him. He's on the penalty kill. Although really, because he was in the penalty box, he wasn't really a factor in the kill tonight. And that's where Mott coming back was pretty big, because Tyler Mott played a lot of the penalty kill. Like, I can't say enough, because you forget about a guy like that. He was a trade deadline acquisition. He's really a fourth-line player, but really that was very important. And the Rangers went to 12. I should also mention 12 forward, 6 defensemen. Patrick Nemeth was a healthy scratch, which I think makes Ranger fans happy, and as do I. I think that Nemeth deserved to not play. I'd rather go with Justin Braun and Schneider for what it's worth. But anyway, Rangers kill off that Rooney penalty. Like I said, the penalty kill did a really good job. However, Pittsburgh really, as the first period progressed, were taking it to the Rangers. Jeff Carter at 14-12 scores his 4th goal of the series. And this is like a hard-earned goal for Pittsburgh. They were whacking away, rebound after rebound. They were just outworking the Rangers for this goal. Simply outworking the Rangers, and they make it 1-0. And the thing for me is, and we've seen it work for the Rangers as well, to be fair, but it's the momentum swings. When you give up a goal, you need to stop the bleeding right there. And same thing when you score a goal, you need to continue to go. So it goes both ways. But unfortunately, Pittsburgh scores again. A minute and 36 seconds later, it's a goal for Brian Rust, his 2nd goal of the series. And this was a play where he was just left, a great pass by Jake Gensel. Rust was left wide open. And I believe that the kid line was on for that goal, if memory serves. I'm pretty sure of that. So the kid line, who was pretty good tonight, took a step back, and that's completely fine. Obviously, because you had other players step up, such as Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. The kid line, I thought, a little bit of a rough game for them, but not terrible. But I believe they were on for that goal. And so it's 2-0 Pittsburgh, and that's the score going to the second. So at this point, I'm not feeling too good about things, but I wasn't completely distraught, because we've seen the way the series has gone. The Rangers were down 2-0 late in the second period last game, were able to come back. So the key was the Rangers just had to get the next goal. If they went down 3-0, then it might be lights out. But the Rangers were able to come out, play a pretty good second period, and they got a power play. A pretty stupid penalty by Evan Rodriguez, who retaliates against Ryan Lindgren. And Ryan Lindgren, he's just one of those players. He gets into the fight, and Evan Rodriguez takes a stupid roughing penalty, and the Rangers immediately score. A faceoff win by Zibanejad. It goes from Fox to Strome to Mika for finally his 1st goal of the series. And like I always say with Mika, once he gets one, you're looking at a completely different player. Confidence is a big thing for Mika Zibanejad. Some players are wired differently. For him, when he's feeling good, he's extremely dominant. And I felt good. Like, all right, Mika, I felt like he wasn't going to stop at 1. And sure enough, soon thereafter, similar to Pittsburgh, Rangers score a minute and 16 seconds after the first Zibanejad goal, which was on the power play. This one's an even strength. Zibanejad, his 2nd goal of the game from Fox and Lindgren. So this is Adam Fox made a really nice play on this one. And Zibanejad takes a one-time slap shot. That's a goal that Domingue would like to have back. Whereas the first Mika goal was a good shot. I think the second one Domingue would like to have back. So the Rangers tied up at 2. But then Mika Zibanejad at 8:01 takes a delay of game penalty, and then Kevin Rooney takes a stupid tripping penalty at 8:54. So you have an extended 5-on-3 for Pittsburgh, but the Ranger penalty kill did a really good job. I think Andrew Kopp comes to mind as really doing a good job on the penalty kill, and that's where that acquisition really comes in handy. And I think Fox, they were very aggressive. It was a very, very good penalty kill. And what happens is Mika Zibanejad comes out of the box, gets a breakaway, going for the hat trick, the natural hat trick, and it goes off the crossbar. So Mika comes close, but still a really good penalty kill. And then at 12:57, Frank Vetrano is high stick by Mike Matheson. It's a double minor, 4-minute power play for the Rangers, and they strike. It is a beautiful pass by Igor Shesterkin to Mika Zibanejad. Zibanejad takes the shot. Domingue makes the save, and it's Chris Kreider, who we've seen what he can do in the power play. This wasn't like really your traditional power play goal. It was more off the rush. But Kreider scores his 3rd goal of the series from Zibanejad and Shesterkin at 13:48, and it makes it 3-2. So Kreider, someone else I've been talking about who needs to step up his game, scores a big goal right there. And the Rangers had 2 more minutes of power play time. I wasn't impressed by what I saw from the second unit. There were chances for the Rangers to make it 4-2. There were, but unfortunately, Jacob Trouba tries to force a pass to Keandre Miller. It gets intercepted by Malkin. I believe Malkin was the one who intercepted it, and he comes in on a kind of a mini breakaway, and he scores past Shesterkin. Evgeny Malkin, who needed to step up for Pittsburgh and did, without Sidney Crosby. Malkin gets his 3rd goal of the series, unassisted, and Penguins tied up at 3. This was like Game 5. This was like Game 5 where the Rangers are down 2-0, take a 3-2 lead, but then Pittsburgh ties up 3-3. Crazy how similar it was. It really was. So then you have a little bit of 4-on-4 play where Vetrano and Zucker go off for unsportsmanlike conduct. There were some chances on both sides, but, long story short, we head to the 3rd tied at 3. And the Rangers' season's on the line here. The Rangers need to win this period. If they don't, if Pittsburgh scores, Rangers are done. And this is a 3rd period where I thought Pittsburgh had the better of the play. I wouldn't say they were overly dominant, but I thought they were the better team. One play comes to mind where Brian Ross is set up for just a glorious chance, and he just shoots it wide. He had the top of the net open, and he just shot it wide. And so, we're heading down the stretch, and it looks like we might go to overtime. And with a minute and 28 seconds left, it is a goal, 2nd goal of the night for Chris Kreider. Assisted by Zibanejad, so that's 4 points of the night for Zibanejad, 2 goals, 2 assists, and then Fox with the other assist, so 4 assists for Fox. This was a bad goal by Louis Domingue, but Chris Kreider just takes a shot on net. We've been asking the Rangers to do this. Kreider even earlier passed up a shooting opportunity. You shoot and good things happen, and Domingue just completely, he flopped. I don't know what he was doing. Look, this is an NHL goalie, and it's nice to see the Rangers take advantage of that situation. And so Kreider is able to get the game-winning goal, but, things would still be a little bit risky. A minute and a half to go. Wasn't over. But the Rangers were able to play pretty good defensively, and it results in Andrew Kopp sealing it with an empty net goal, his 4th goal of the series from Kevin Rooney and Adam Fox. There's the 4th assist for Adam Fox right there. And so the Rangers win at 5-3. Another gutsy win for the Rangers. It's really not pretty. I wouldn't say the Rangers are playing their best hockey, but they're, to be able to do that, to be down in both games by multiple goals. I think they said the Rangers were the 3rd team in the history of the NHL when down 3-1 in the series to win both those games when trailing by 2 goals. So the Rangers, made it a thing for comeback wins. And it seems like they're just, and maybe there's something to be said for like playing that underdog role, which is why I guess for Game 7, you should be slightly concerned. Like, I don't want the Rangers to take anything for granted, because when they do that, they get into trouble. So the Rangers, they're good when, they kind of have this chip on their shoulder, and they're losing. And it's like, all right, we got to do this, us against the world type of mentality. But I think Gallant will get them ready. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I could even see Pittsburgh taking the lead, but I think with what we've seen from the Rangers all season long, you have to feel like with the crowd behind them that they can find a way to scratch us out. And if you do that, that is a very great accomplishment. And the Rangers, as a fan, I saw the Rangers come out from 3-1 down against these same Pittsburgh Penguins in 2014, and the same thing against the Washington Capitals in 2015. To see it again, it's not easy to come back from 3-1 down. It is not a regular occurrence. And the Rangers haven't gotten there yet, but if they do that, they should be really proud of themselves. And, who knows what can then happen. Boston, Carolina is a 3-3 series. Tomorrow being Game 7 at Carolina. Each home team has won. I would expect Carolina to win that. As a Ranger fan, I'm hoping for the Bruins, because that way you get home ice, and I think the Bruins are the easier match of the two. I don't feel confident against Carolina. I'm expecting it to be Carolina, but if it's somehow Boston, I think then if you're a Ranger fan, I think all of a sudden, hey, who knows? But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. First things first is Game 7 versus Pittsburgh. That is absolutely the most important thing. And for Pittsburgh, obviously you have to be upset about the fact that things haven't broke their way, but also they should have won this game. If I'm a Pittsburgh Penguin fan, I'm thinking, look, they had a 5-on-3 opportunity that was missed, right there. They had the lead. They had control of this game at home. You have to find a way to win that game, regardless of anything else. So it's a little bit tough It's one thing if the Penguins just got destroyed, then it's like, damn, no Crosby, no, goaltending situation, but they had this. They really did, and they weren't able to get it done. So now we had a Game 7, and I wonder if Tristan Jarry will be back for the Pittsburgh Penguins, just because Zibanejad was so awful. But it's tough. Tristan Jarry hasn't played in over a month, and he's coming back from like a broken foot. So like that, do you throw him into that situation? I don't know. So with Sidney Crosby, could he return? Maybe. Under normal circumstances, I'd say there's no way that he'd be returned, but maybe since it's Game 7, my gut tells me that we don't see Sidney Crosby because just concussions are really serious, but who knows? So, maybe Pittsburgh gets some players back, but again, what a gutsy comeback for the Rangers. They do it again, and so we head to MSG. It's winner take all. We'll see what happens. Do the Rangers, we'll see. It could end in the blink of an eye. And at this point, as a Ranger fan, I think, your hopes are now definitely high. So that can be dangerous. But I think that, you should be confident. The Rangers have been a good home team all year. I think that overall they've played better at home for sure versus Pittsburgh in this series. So, if they can get some contributions for Artemi Panarin, Ryan Strome, I think that line, there's more to give from that line. It's their time now. So we'll see. Rangers were down 3-1, but they tied this up 3-3. They are 2/3 of the way. Final step at MSG Sunday night.